Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapati Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandho Jagatpate Gopeshe Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. Am I connected?
Yes, now you are.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Okay, it went for a while, huh? My screen froze. Okay, some internet dropout. Okay, so I was saying today probably is the last class for chapter 6, and from next week onwards we start the revision, and hopefully we'll all attend the 11th of December exam. And thank you to everyone who submitted their assignments this week. Thank you, Rasanan Prabhu. He submitted twice. So, Prabhu, I already got all your previous ones as well. So, but Prabhu is so sincere.
No, my Gmail account had some issues, Prabhu.
Okay.
It was showing out of account, so I thought whether it...
But somehow your assignments went through.
Prabhu, can I take the other one as for my submission?
Ask Prabhu if he allows you, Mataji.
No, Prabhu, I'll submit it soon.
Yeah, no problem. No. So thank you everyone who submitted this week, and there are still few devotees left. So we strongly recommend that if you could submit by this week. From next week, we'll be starting revision. So you can also revise the chapters at home. So if you have any questions, we can clarify in the class. So I'm planning to do some key verses in the class, which are in the PDF, which was already sent out to you. I think Rupam Prabhu compiled a PDF file, and we'll also cover some major themes of that chapter, because we have to cover 2 chapters in a class. So we'll try doing that, just the important verses and some important themes, and just go through. And if you have any questions or queries, you can ask from next week onwards. Okay, so let's start our revision for the 6th chapter. So we started from 6:30 last week. I see Vinay Prabhu on the top, and Prabhu has 2 bead bags, looks like, Prabhu. One is not enough for you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay. 6:30, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. I read the translation. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor he is ever lost to me. Very, very nice statement. Bhagavan give it to us. And This one is actually Bhagavan realization platform. And in this verse is Pashyati is very important. Like Pashyati is everywhere, like where we can see. And like Jomang Pashyati Sarvatra. Who is see the Bhagavan is everywhere, like a devotee, especially we see the Bhagavan in everywhere, the pure devotee, pure soul. And Sarvang Chamoi Pashyanti, and they can see inside everything, Sarvang everywhere. Then so in this way, Krishna also never forgets his devotee who remember him, who see him everywhere. And you give the nice example, the Lord Rama and Hanuman, like the diary one, that one. And Krishna will give the all energy to tolerating all kind of expected the tolerance. So Krishna give us all everything, all even buddhi, everything Krishna give it to me. That's I write down the note. And then in this way, yes, Krishna, if we see that Krishna is everywhere, and he never lost from our life, so we can go closer and closer, and we can reach the goal in topmost Krishna prema. That's we can see in the here. So actually, this is the realization platform of Bhagavan. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Just one more word I was thinking maybe we can add. Prashami and Pranashanti. So Pranashanti, as Prabhupada is writing, I'm lost. So he's never lost to me, and I am never lost to him. And Prabhuji gave the example of Lord Rama and Hanuman. Another example I think we discussed last week. Anyone remembers? Which other example of Srimad Bhagavatam we discussed for this verse? So in devotee's mind, Krishna is never lost. So Prabhupada gives an example from Brahma Samhita, which we discussed. Premanjan Surya Bhakti Lochana, Santa Sadaiva. Sadaiva means always. Vilokanti, they see Krishna in their heart. But someone was seeing Krishna everywhere. Prahlad? You remember Prahlad? When he was asked by Hiranyakashipu, do you see Vishnu, your Bhagavan? He said he's everywhere, where he is not. Even in the pillar, yes, he's in the pillar. Another example, and anyone can remember from Bhagavatam, where the devotee, besides Prahlad, was looking Krishna everywhere. Literally looking, not just imaginations. Prahlad was looking. Now, we can say in theory, but we don't see. We see trees, we see sky and vehicles and whatnot. But Prahlad was looking Krishna everywhere. Gopis. When gopis were looking for Krishna in separation, gopis were looking for Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. They were trying to ask, even it says the trees and the creepers, have you seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? So we can have some couple of examples, live examples, where devotees are literally, Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra, one who sees me everywhere. Sarvam is everything. Cha Mai means mine or in me. Everything in me. So there's nothing outside Krishna. Now we cannot claim that. If furniture is in our house, that furniture is in our house. It cannot be outside our house. But can you say anything is outside of Krishna's existence? We are all within Krishna, and Krishna is within everything. So we're talking about two different levels here. So when we say Krishna is within everything, which Vishnu manifestation we are talking? Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, Paramatma level. So that exists in Kshir Sagar, in Shwetadeep, as well as in our heart. And we are within Vishnu. Which expansion we are talking?
Bhagavan.
Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu breathes out he exhales and he inhales. So he exhales all the universes. All the bubbles come out of his body and goes within his body. So we are talking Mahavishnu manifestation. So same Vishnu in different manifestations we can clearly see in this verse. So when we are talking Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, when we are talking Mahavishnu or Karunodakashayi Vishnu. If your vision is like Prahlad or Gopis, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. Lord Ram and Hanumanji example. Okay, so So 631. Maybe Manish, Manohan Prabhuji can do.
Krishna Prabhu, I was
Sorry.
not there in the last class.
Okay, no problem, Prabhuji, no problem. Rasanand Prabhu or Vijay Gopi Mataji?
I can do, Prabhu.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. I will start with the translation. Verse 631, translation. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the Supreme Soul, knowing that I and the Super Soul are one, remains always in me in all circumstances. So this verse 31 is in the part of the section which is talking about the perfection of the yoga, starting from 28 to 32. So 28, 29, 30 talks about the three levels of real Brahma, realization of the absolute truth. Talks about Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And verse 30, as Binay Prabhu was explaining, that's at the Bhagavan level. So this verse 31 and 32. 31 talks about proving how a super soul and Paramatma are the same. So Bhagavan are the same. So this was highlighting that. So and then it also talks about how the perfection of the yoga worships Bhagavan. And 32 talks about how to see everyone equally. Now getting into the details, like if you see the first verse, first line, Sarva Bhuta Stritam Mam. So this is the reflection of verse number 29 and 30. So Sarva Bhuta Stritam. In 29 also the verse starts with the same words, which means situated in everyone's heart. That is meaning Paramatma. And here the verse number 30 talks about Mam Pashyati. So here Mam refers to Bhagavan, that is me, that is the personal form of him. So this is the integration of verse 29 and 30, showing that this super soul and the Bhagavan are the same. So the next is talking about Bhajati Ekvatvam. So that means oneness. So Bhajati means to serve in devotional service, and Ekvatvam. So he says that the perfect yogi is the one who worships me, and he sees everyone, sees in everyone's art. So Atma to Atma level. And Prabhu also explained about the absolute truth, three levels of absolute truth. And we have the example of Srila Prabhupada, always quotes this, like how it was in a village, like how a train is coming. The first time the train is coming to the village, the villagers see from the far and they see some smoke is coming from the engine. They can't see much, but they can see only some smoke. And then they run to the village and say, oh, the train means it's like the smoke which is coming like that. But there are some people who are still left in the station and they watch something coming closer. They can see some engine. There are few more compartments, some more detail. So they run to the village and say, oh no, there are different parts of it. So this is the Paramatma realization. Some more details they get. But the person who ultimately sees, the various people sitting inside the train, there is someone driving it. So they get into the details of the personal feature of the train. So that is the personal realization, Bhavan realization of that. So this is the three levels of realization, analogy of three levels of realization. And the last sentence talks about the Sarvatra Vartamani. So this means that he remains always in the consciousness, always in consciousness at all times. So he remains in that consciousness all the times. So Sarvatra means in all respect, and Vartamani means he is situated, being situated, P me always. So such a person is said to be a true yogi or a perfect yogi. Sa yo mai vartati, remains. So as to conclude, summary is Bhagavan realization that and the Paramatma realization are the same. And so here he says the super soul and me are the same. So the Ashtanga Yogi actually he targets on the super soul. Krishna says, I am the same as the one. But this sameness, much details are not given about the various rasas of the Bhagavan. So, but without any reference of rasas in this Bhagavan feature. And Prabhu, you also quoted some verse like how Krishna is the foundation of Brahman. So verse number, you mentioned some Bhagavad Gita verse, which is progressing towards, from Paramatma to Bhagavan, how it progresses.
1426, Brahmano hi Pratistaham.
1426 of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu?
Yes.
Because I tried to see that, I couldn't get it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Prabhuji.
probably
Very
we
nice.
quoted from some purport. I think I leave
Yeah.
it.
One more thing I was just remembering as you were quoting the example of train, similar examples Prabhupada quoted for mountain as well. So from a very far distance, you see mountain is like there's a blurry, cloudy thing. When you go close, you see, oh, they have some trees, and within the trees, you will see, oh, there's some animals and some lions are there, birds are there, and blah blah blah. And also Prabhupada the example of sun and
Water.
sun rays. Huh?
Reflection and sun and the reflection
Sun
of
and
the
sun rays.
water.
Yeah. Yeah. So reflection is another one. He said sun rays is like Brahman, it's like a light. You see
Yeah,
sunlight, it's like, oh, Brahman, Brahman. And then you say sun globe, this is Paramatma realization, but within sun planet, there is a
Sun
God,
God.
there's a demigod who's in charge of it, and they are residents of sun planet. So then it's the Bhagwan. So it's as you come closer, you'll know more details. So I'm just saying these three examples you can quote, which
Yeah.
Prabhupada gave quite often for the three levels.
Thank you.
Rupam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, in the translation, if you see the first word, Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, there Sthitam is quite normal meaning. Sthitam is to situated. But then in the second line where it says Asthita, that's also termed, the translation of that is also said as to be situated.
Yes.
Shouldn't be Asthitam being at the start, should be the opposite meaning?
No, not always, Prabhu. Not always. Sanskrit, in that sense, is a pretty complex language, and the meaning of the words are not frozen; they change based on the context. So he just said, "Bhajati ekatvam asthitaha." So Prabhupada has written situated, and it makes sense as well. Huh? So they both are same Paramatma, and the Bhagwan level are the same.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one more situated there, Prabhu. Varthamana. So that is also saying being situated.
Sartha Vardhamanopi, yeah. So basically establishing, as Prabhuji said nicely, the integration between 29 and 30. 29 being the Paramatma level and 30 being the Bhagwan level. Because clearly says Mam is a person, me. Okay.
Can I do 32, Prabhu?
Sure, Mataji. I'll just say Akhandas Prabhu is traveling in India in a train, but he is, so sincere. He's joining from the trains. Very nice. Thank you. Nice to see you, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Text 32. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna. So here, the first word is Atma. Atma is the self, that is the super soul. And the next word is Aupma Ena, that is by comparison. So here the true yogi is comparing the Atma in everybody. Like he is treating Atma in each and every living entity equally. So that is called Samaham Pashyati. And so what he is seeing, the Atma is like, he sees the Atma equally in the sense like he is seeing both the happiness and the sorrow of the Atma, or the suffering and the enjoying of the Atma equally. So if a transcendentalist like sees if the Atma is enjoying in the sense like materially, you may see many people enjoying like having a big car and everything, but the transcendentalist would feel that they are really suffering, because as you explained, the night and the day comparison. So the transcendental feel that they are too much entangled in the material happiness, so they are actually missing Krishna there. So they feel that the material happiness is the suffering of that Atma. And if the Atma is really suffering, then the transcendental would give support to that Atma. Like more than the emotional support, he tries to give the spiritual support to the Atma. So you have given so many examples of Srila Prabhupada, like how he was traveling in the car and then he could see people enjoying, and then but he started crying, feeling that they are actually suffering than enjoying. Like materially they may be enjoying, but they are depriving of Krishna. So he started crying. And also you gave an example of the surfing and sufferer. They were surfing, but actually Prabhupada said no, they are suffering. Then the devotee said, no, Prabhupada, it's not suffering is surfing. Then Prabhupada said, no, they are suffering. So that example also you gave. And also the book distribution, like, the book called You Are Okay and I'm Okay. That example also you were giving. So here the main point is the yogi sees the super soul, that suffering of the Atma and the happiness of the Atma, and he sama pashyanti means like he sees it equally. So, and the last line also, like a yogi would not, the Ashtanga yogi just goes and sit in the secluded place just to improve his own spiritual upliftment. But whereas the real devotee, he will try to preach everyone. He tried to give Krishna to everyone. So that is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. That is what I understood from this.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. And the word which Krishna is using here, Param Yogi. So yogi can be many, but Param Yogi means a very high advanced yogi will be the one who is Sukham Vayadivadakam. So is looking others' happiness and distress as his own happiness and distress. Obviously, he has the right vision, as Mataji said, Yanisha Sarvbhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sayami. So he sees day and night in opposite way. So, but he sees happiness and distress in comparison to himself. Will this make me happy? This will make me sad? So if this so-called enjoyment will make me sad because I'm a yogi, so this are making others sad as well. So let me go and talk to them and tell them do the right thing. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained with all the right examples. Okay, so that sort of finishes this section, as Rasanand Prabhu was saying, realization of Krishna as Super Soul, 28 to 32, different levels of realizations Krishna has explained. Now sort of Krishna has stopped and Arjun is going to ask some questions on the basis of what he has heard from Krishna just now. So let's see Arjun's question, which we also covered last time, 633. Prasanatma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll read the translation. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Okay. Because here Arjuna says, Yoyam Yoga Tvaya Prokta, means the yoga system what you have explained. Tvaya Prokta means Tvaya means by you, Prokta described. Samyena Madhusudana. Samyena means what equally you said something.
Based on equality. So
Based on
Krishna is again saying sama, some darshan.
yeah.
So it's based
Okay.
on equal vision. So yogi has an equal vision towards all the other living entities.
Yeah.
So he's picked
So
up.
yes,
basically.
you told that Arjuna he can't see everyone on the same platform like Duryodhana and Dushyasana who all created so much of ill treatment to them. So he can't see them in equal vision. That's what he was telling to.
So basically he's saying,
and he was telling Madhusudana because Krishna killed the Madhu demon. And these are all doubts is not good as a devotee. So he called him as Madhusudana also there to destroy all those doubts.
Yes.
So then etasyaham na pashyami. What does it mean?
So etasya means this one, aham means me, na pashyami. I'm not able to see it.
Yeah.
And then he gives the reasoning behind it. Why I can't do it?
Yeah, he says mind is restless and unsteady. So because of that, I can't see them equally. That's what he says.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. So you picked up probably all the words of Sanskrit. And he also gave nice examples. So he can't see, say, Karna at the same level as Bhima. Duryodhana same level. He said, I can't do that. And then he gives the reasoning. One more important point. In this question, there is another Vaishnava etiquette is also mentioned. Anyone remembers that Vaishnava etiquette behind this verse? So this is the theory.
Control of mind.
Yes, but it's not etiquette. I'm talking etiquette here. So this, right, Prabhuji, what you said, Chanchal Vaishnava, so he's saying, I cannot control my mind. So basically, first he says, the principle which you said, the principle of equality, I can't do it. So first he said no to that principle, and then he said why I can't do it, because of my unsteady mind. That's fine. What's the etiquette here? What we can learn as a Vaishnava etiquette here? Krishna and Arjun, they are not just talking normal conversation like we talk. Every verse actually can be looked in different angles. So the etiquette which we see, okay, Mataji,
Maybe
yeah.
Prabhu, is he like he's telling a problem, and also he's saying why he can't do that also. Maybe that's an etiquette.
That's good. Yes. What else?
Can I try, Prabhu? Like he is saying that what you are saying is wrong, but actually he's saying, taking the blame on me. I am unable to do this.
Yes.
But what Krishna is saying is right, but I am unable. I am in a position not able to do it, which is very hard for me.
Yes.
So he's accepting what Krishna is saying, but he is saying his incapability of following that instruction.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So he's not saying the teacher is wrong or the teaching is wrong. As Mataji said, taking the blame on himself. I am unable to do it. And also he's submitting his mind to Krishna in a very nice etiquette way. He's not saying, oh, Krishna, you know what you said is all nonsense. It will not work. No, he's saying it will not work from me. Aham na pashyami. He clearly says, aham is me. I am not able to see. Many times when we don't understand the teachings, sometimes we start blaming. And this we read the 10 aparad in the morning after Tulsi Aarti. The fourth one is blaspheming the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Sometimes they say, oh, this Harinam is all exaggeration. All the pap will go just by chanting one word, not one word, even one letter, Narayan. You say, even by chanting Na, all the sinful reactions will go away. Oh, it's all exaggeration. It's not. We should say, I am not able to understand this. So what you are saying is correct, but I'm not. So it's the etiquette is whenever we are not able to understand something, we should try to understand. Obviously, Arjun is getting the teachings from the right authority. So if the right authority is teaching us and we are not able to understand, it's our sort of incapacity. It's not the teacher's incapacity or teacher is telling the wrong. So very nicely he's explaining, Krishna, you have explained a very nice principle, but I'm not able to follow. Another example in Srimad Bhagavatam who did the same thing. We discussed about it. Same etiquette principle I'm talking here. Dhruv Maharaj, when Narad Muni was teaching him, oh, you should go back home. What is man and what is apman? What is insult and what is praise, And he says, you're just a kid. Kids don't mind so much. Many times kids fight with each other. Katti. They say, I will never speak to you for, next of my life. And you'll see after 3 hours, they're playing with each other again. It happens. Parents who has many kids will know more. They will say, Bhaiya or my Didi is, not very good. Krishna and Balram will also fight a lot. And then after 1 hour, 2 hours, they will play together. So similarly, when Narad Muni was telling Dhruv Maharaj, you should go back, Dhruv Maharaj said, what you are telling is correct, but that's not applicable on me. Why? And he said why as well. Arjun is saying why. So we should not just say, I can't do it. No, why you can't do it? Explain to your spiritual master. So Dhruv Maharaj said, because I have a Kshatriya blood. The blood of a Kshatriya is running in my veins. So because Kshatriyas get hurt a lot, they cannot tolerate the disrespect. So he said, I cannot follow. The instructions you are giving is for Brahmana. I'm a Kshatriya. He clearly said. So many times when we get spiritual instructions from our spiritual authorities and we are not able to do, we should open our mind. We have that section where you can explain your mind, but in a very humble way. So not like your instruction isn't correct. No, I can't do it. Once Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and there was one devotee there, was practicing, deep devotion in Dham. Sometimes devotees go. I'm remembering Satyasen Prabhu, who was living in Vrindavan for 6 months. He will do a lot of devotion and he will come back and distribute the mercy. So this devotee was living in Vrindavan for a while. And Prabhupada said, oh, you've been living in Vrindavan for so long, you should go out and preach. So he had little pride. He said, Prabhupada, where would I preach? Prabhupada said, go to Sri Lanka. Prabhupada could read his, little pride. He said, Sri Lanka, such a small country. So Prabhupada said, okay, I'll give you a bigger country. Go to Pakistan. Then he said, okay, Sri Lanka is better. So many times we express our mind to our spiritual master. And as I said, that's okay. But that has to be presented in a very humble way and with a quite proper reasoning. Maharaj, what you are saying is correct. I am not able to do it. Once Prabhupada was sitting and one disciple said, Prabhupada, I'm going to jail. It was Shyamsundar Prabhu. Prabhupada did not ask any question. He said, oh, Krishna was also born in jail. This disciple said, I was so scared telling this to Prabhupada that I'm going to jail. Prabhupada said, oh, you rascal, I'll reject you. You fallen people, this and that. Prabhupada did not say a word to this person. Rather, he sort of joked. He said, oh, Krishna was also born in jail. And Shyamsundar Prabhu said, my heart was like, so much better, so much better. Imagine if you have to go to a spiritual master and say, I'm going to go to jail. What will be your feeling? First, you can't even say. And if you say how much daring you need, and then your spiritual master say, Prabhupada here say, oh, that's all right. That's all right. But then he said, by the way, why are you going to jail? He said, I was dealing with drugs. Prabhupada said, me too. I was also dealing with drugs. Prayag pharmacy. So this drugs was medications. But the point here, which I'm trying to make, you should open your mind to your spiritual master, because it says if you hide from a doctor or a spiritual master your problem, then they cannot treat you. They cannot treat you. But how should you present your mind? In a very humble way. 434. You are allowed to speak up to your mind, to your spiritual master in a humble way, in a sincere way. I have this issue. I have this problem. I am not so capable of following these instructions. And then they will guide you further. And it says with the instruction comes the capacity to be able to follow the instruction as well. So a spiritual master gives that sort of power to follow, gives the strength to follow that. But yeah, Arjun is opening his mind with his spiritual master Krishna. So it's very nice from that perspective as well. Okay, let's move 634. Prasannatma Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I just had one doubt actually.
Yes, please.
Prabhu, you told that disciples should ask the spiritual master or tell whatever the problems they have. But it's also told that spiritual master knows each disciple what's he going through.
Yes.
So how do we understand this?
Very nice. So like when we go to the temple, Prabhuji, and we pray to Krishna, Krishna, I'm not so good. Krishna, I'm not doing my bhakti properly, or I have this. And you tell to Krishna, and Vandanam is a part of your sadhana. If you read Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami tells 64 angas of bhakti, 64 limbs of bhakti, and one of the anga of bhakti is Vandanam. We also know there are 9 different types of devotional activities, which Prahlad Maharaj says. That's also Vandanam is mentioned. So Vandanam is opening your heart loudly. We cannot say, oh, Krishna is in my heart. He knows everything. So what's the need of speaking? No. You are supposed to speak up. Similarly, you are supposed to speak up in front of your spiritual master. Second point, it says spiritual master is not Krishna. Like only Krishna knows everything. A spiritual master is not Krishna, but a spiritual master knows what Krishna thinks he should know. You understand the point? So he doesn't know everything, but he knows everything what he should know based on Krishna's inspiration. So a spiritual master knows everything what he is supposed to know. Not that he knows everything. Like, your mother is making a nice sabji for you. And she will put some haldi, she will put some garam masala and sabji masala and some jeera, some rai and whatnot. Do you need to know everything? All you say, Mama, sabji is very nice. That's all. At least I'm just concerned with whatever comes in the plate is nice or not so nice. So the spiritual master knows everything about you, what he's supposed to know. So when you go in front of spiritual master, you explain your heart. And then I remember one incident, I'll not share the details, but spiritual master next day told me that he was praying for this devotee. He was praying for this devotee because he came to know something a night before. So when you open your heart, you tell your problems, then he will pray for you. He will pray for you. And with his prayers, not our prayers, you will get strength to overcome those issues, those problems. Does that make sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
And spiritual master is a person. He's not like a deity or something. He's a person. And you should open your heart, and then only you'll establish a relation. Like deep relationship are where when the heart is open, isn't it? When the heart has a wall, then you can't have deep relationship. You can have relationship. Hi, how are you? We have that relationship with so many people, but you don't open your heart. You open your heart with someone whom you trust. So heart does get open, and then relationships can deepen. Huh?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice
Right.
question. Thank you. Okay. So 6:34, we have Jayaprakash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna Prabhu.
The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the mind. I think in this sloka, Arjuna is further substantiating why he is not able to follow the yoga system of path, and he has also expressed certainly like what mind's characteristics are. Some of them he listed, like as we have read in this, Chanchalam is flickering, and Pramati is agitating, and Balavat strong, and Drudam obstinate. And also you gave an example like Drudam, when we say usually Druda is like being strong, but in this case it has been used as an obstinate because Sanskrit has that like based on the context, sometimes the meaning change. And you gave an example of Ravana, when even Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana were trying to tell him that what kidnapping Mother Sita was not right thing, but since he was so obsessed, and so he couldn't, so that shows how mind can sometime become obstinate, and which we won't be able to control. So he is again, I think it again says like how Arjuna was rationally explaining, at the same time he was very submissive in terms of also humble in terms of admitting his shortcomings and presenting to Krishna. And I think you gave another example of Avanti Brahmana, that Avanti Brahmana, when he realized that his mind is the actual culprit, instead of he blaming it on somebody else like his family or his or demigods for that matter. I think in most of the even our situations also it so happens, like sometimes we see even in the association, whether it's devotee association or non-devotees also, sometimes there is every chance that we may get carried away and think that it's not a good association, or it's not it's not favorable. But actually the fault most of the time is in our thinking, like in our mind, where we are not able to see the good side of others. So sometimes that is also again, I think the example of in the Kathopanishad as it has been given, ideally the soul or the need to be controlling everything, and intelligence need to be controlling mind, and mind in turn need to be controlling the senses. But in most of the, like sometimes what happens, it goes the other way around. If one is not able to have the mind control, then senses can start taking over, unfortunately. So I think for that he's putting all these points across to Krishna, so that he will get the advice and also the guidance from Krishna, so that how he can overcome, which is like a pure sadhaka, or the disciple, how he need to present in a submissive and in a humble mood, so that he get the grace of the Lord, and also put his problem with sincerity and seeking the advice from Krishna. Yeah, Prabhu, that's all I have written.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll just pick up some Sanskrit. So Chanchalam, as Prabhuji, flickering. Any examples of Chanchal? So we have four qualities of mind, or rather disqualities of mind. Just meaning and example. So Chanchal, meaning is flickering. We all know Chanchal. What's the example of Chanchal, which we discussed?
Child.
Sorry?
Like a child, Prabhu.
Like a child, huh? So child is very, very flickering, going here and there, and mother will say, oh, stop, and he may stop for 1 minute or something, and then as soon as mother turns around, father turns around, he again start his mischievous activity. That's chanchal. So our mind is also like that, goes super fast, huh? Super. Second, pramati. What does pramati means? So mati Mad.
Weak to madness.
Pagal.
Matta is mad, pramatta is super mad. Huh?
Superman.
So our mind is super mad. How do you call it super mad? It gets attracted to those activities which are strictly prohibited. Huh? So if you say, don't think about a red monkey, for example, think about any other monkey except the red monkey. What do you think? Mostly red monkey, red monkey, red monkey, because that's been told not to think. Huh? So whatever you say not to think. So I think I gave example of my Guru Maharaj. So what did he suggest in this situation? Don't say no to your mind. Put your material desires in a shelf and say, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back. Just wait here. You tell your salesman, just wait, Prabhuji, I'll be back. And then you go engage in Krishna's service, in Guru's service, and another desire comes. Oh, definitely, I want to go to movie. Definitely, just wait, I'm coming. I want to do this. Oh yes, definitely. As soon as you say no to that desire will punch you, will pinch you, will make you no. This is so important. You have to attend Prabhuji, and you go and attend to it. So a practical way, which I shared last week, just put it on the shelf and say, come back to it, come back to it, come back to it. And when you come back after Krishna Seva, after 24 hours or a week or a year later, what you'll see? Oh, shelf is empty. I wanted to eat this nonsense ice cream, but actually I don't need to eat ice cream because I went to a program, Mataji made so nice ice cream anyway. Why I have to go and eat out this other ice cream? Huh? One example, or can be hundreds of it. Devotees make so nice prasadam. We have many devotees here who are expert cooks. So just one example. So similarly, we can apply slowly and we'll be able to do it. Okay. Balavat, Prabhu gave the example of Avanti Brahman. That's a very appropriate example. And Dranham Prabhu gave example of Ravan. So determined, but in a wrong way. He was very, very determined. No matter what happens, I'm not going to give Mother Sita. No matter what happens, his whole family practically died in front of his eyes, but still he could not see. No one is left except me. Even the last day, Lord Ram said, there's no fun in killing a tired enemy. So you go home, take rest, and come back tomorrow. Lord Ram said, I'll finish you tomorrow. He said in front of Ravan. He said, oh, Ravan, you have killed many Vanaras today. So now you must be very tired. You go home and come back tomorrow. I'll finish you tomorrow. Like openly saying, and he goes home, still he cannot think. Array, the whole family died. Kumbhakaran died, Indrajit died, and now I have no one practically left, but still he comes back tomorrow to fight with Lord Ram. Hiranyakashipu sees Narsingadev is so big. He's so big in ratio. It says it was like 1 lakh to 1. Just imagine a mountain like 1 lakh kilometer high or 1 lakh meter high, and you are 1 meter high. Do you have any chance of winning that? But Hiranyakashipu was still attacking Narsingadev again and again. Narsingadev was playing like a machar, like a mosquito. But look at his determination. No, I'll finish this being off. Like, you cannot be practical. Come on, whom are you fighting against? So similarly, our mind is also very dradha, very, I must do this, I must do it. Okay, now last 2 lines are also important. Tasyaham, aham again is putting aham. He's not blaming the whole thing. No one can do it. Many times, Prabhuji, no one can do it. No, bhai. Just say, I cannot do it. We are ashamed to say I, and we say, no one can do it. No, the instruction is given to you. You respond in your capacity. Simple. So, tasyaham nigraham manne. So, to grab the mind in my control, which is the basis of the yoga, manne, me, vayor iva sudushkaram. Even I can control the mind, wind, but cannot control the mind. So Arjun is again explaining his incapacity in a very, very humble way, and he's giving reasoning. Sripala Prabhu was saying many times, to say, oh, Prabhu, your class was very nice. So Sripala Prabhuji said, you have to tell why the class was nice, which point I liked, and what I can do about it. Then only you should say, otherwise it's considered buttering. And it may increase the false ego of the speaker. So actually you're ruining your spiritual life and other spiritual life. So you have to be very careful when we encourage each other, which we should do, but in a very solid way, in a concrete way, not just saying it off and not meaning it, because that will increase our ego that, I am the one who's asking the questions always, or I am the one giving a nice feedback. No, we should encourage, but in a very solid way. Otherwise, we may ruin the spiritual life of each other. So we should take care of that principle. So he's giving proper reasoning behind it. Vayor Ivasiddhishkam. And Vishwanath Thakur writes here, Krishna mentioned when Arjun mentioned the first line, so Krishna mentioned, but Arjun, you have the celestial weapons. You can control wind. You can control this and that. So Arjun said, hang on a second. I can control wind. I have celestial weapons, but controlling mind is even higher than controlling the wind. I can't do that one. My limits just stop here. And Arjun is not just an archer. He is the best archer of his time. He has satisfied even Lord Shiva. He has defeated demigods. He has defeated Gandharvas. He has defeated a whole Kuru army single-handedly in Virat. He is not a normal person, and he is talking his incapacity. So you can imagine how true this one is. Okay, let's see the solution by Krishna. We have Sonia Mataji, if you like to do. I sometimes avoid Sumitru because he's constantly, taking care of other things as well.
No worries, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I'll try, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata.
Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So Krishna is replying to, and I'll just take few Sanskrit words before. So manaha means the mind, and asamshayam, which is undoubtedly, and chalam, which is flickering, and Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, and Vairagyena, by detachment. Vairagyena means detachment. So Krishna is instructing Arjuna and replying to him, indeed it is very difficult to control the mind, but we all can overcome that by practicing. So we keep practicing, and we should not be attached to anything. With the help of, if we are detached, and if we keep practicing and constantly think about Krishna, Krishna willing, one day we all can have that control in our mind. And we feel that Prabhupada, by giving us the instructions, have definitely helped us by making the principles and letting us, giving a path to follow those principles. Four regulative principles is actually helping us in controlling the mind as well. And when we follow the fast and Ekadashi, we are also controlling our mind and our senses in that as well, and putting it in the right direction and putting it for Krishna. So if we keep doing it more and more, definitely we can control to some extent the mind as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. One more thing which we can take from this verse. So Arjun was following the etiquette as a disciple or as a student. Let's see what teacher is following the etiquette. So first line is the etiquette line. What's the etiquette? If someone comes to you to seek some help or seek some guidance, you say, oh, you rascal. You can't even do this. What sort of person you are? Do you think this person will be encouraged to do that activity? Whether it's a kid or an adult or a friend or someone, So look at Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of God. He has all the right to say all the good things. How he's saying it, and he's saying mataha, my opinion, in my opinion. So we should learn this etiquette part as well from the Lord. So if someone comes to you saying Asanshayam Mahabaho, see, he's praising Arjun. He's not saying, oh, actually, you know what? You're a very weak-minded person. He can't do anything. You're always wrong. Maybe this person has never made a mistake. He just made one mistake, and we just label him for the rest of his life. Oh, he's just a bakwas. He's just a nonsense. We should never label a person. Persons change. Persons make mistake. We all make mistake, and people make mistake. That's okay. The teacher should be very, very, encouraging to the student, to the disciple, to the peer, or whoever is seeking your shelter in that particular circumstances. So what's the praise word here? Mahabaho. Actually, Prabhu, you are a Mahabaho. You're not a weak person. And is it genuine appreciation or just a fake? Arjun is a Mahabaho. He is truly Maha. So again, encourage from a word which truly fits on that person, not just you say anything. Oh, Prabhu, you're so nice. Hang on a second. Attach a quality which you genuinely appreciate of that person. So Mahabhava is referring, praising, encouraging to the student, and Ashansham, agreeing to the problem which the student is presenting. Agreeing. I understand. Huh? Someone comes, I can't quit alcohol. I understand. It's difficult. I can't. Just don't start with the blame. The blaming certificate on, oh, you are all karmis. No, karmis are also humans. They're also part and parcel of Krishna. So our approach will determine whether this person will be able to do something about this problem or no. Because he's seeking genuine help, you give genuine help to this person as per as our capacity. So we should learn these verses not in terms of just theory, but in terms of etiquette. Because it says not it's important what you speak, it's how you speak. How you speak is extremely important. As I'm saying again, it has to be genuine. It has to be genuine. So Ashansham refers to no doubt. Actually, what you said is correct. Although you are very, very great, but what you're saying is correct. So first line is just, it's not an answer at all. It's just agreeing to the student and appreciating, actually, you have capacity, but I understand your situation. Now he says, repeating the question, Mano Dunigram, isn't it? So you repeat the question of the student. What you said is correct. This is what you said. Why are you repeating the question? Anyone? Why should teacher repeat?
Empathy, Prabhu. Showing the empathy.
Empathy, yes. And
Agreeing
To
the
make
problem.
that I understood what he is answering.
making sure I understood your question correctly.
Yes.
Maybe someone is saying A and we interpreted B and we start responding to B. No, you say A to A. Is this what you said? Is this what you mean? Mano Dunigram. This is not a response yet. This is just clarifying the question. Very etiquette. He's saying Ashanshayam and he's saying, actually, you are a great person. So very, very nicely, Krishna is responding. Now, this is the line which is the solution of the problem. What is the solution? Yam and niyam. Yam means, anyone? Don'ts. And niyam means do's. So as Mataji was saying, we have some yam given by our acharyas, Prabhupada, and we have some niyam. Yam means what we don't do. We don't eat meat, we don't drink alcohol and blah, blah. What we do, 16 round japa, DT worship, offering everything to Krishna and other things. So what is yam here? What is do's here? Abhyas. Abhyas means practice. What is niyam here?
Detachment.
Sorry, yam here is vairagya. I'm sorry. Yam is vairagya. What we have to leave, what you don't do. So we have to do, as Radhanath Maharaj always says, what is anukul to Krishna, what is conducive to your devotion life. It's not, oh, I only drive, at the speed of 60. Now you can drive at the speed of 100. Oh, Prabhu, you're a devotee. Yes, you're allowed to drive at the speed of 100 or 150. But Radhanath Maharaj, very simply, he says, what is anukul to your devotional service? You do that. You have to drive at 150, you drive at 150. You have to drive at 10, you drive at 10. So it's not the speed which will determine you're a devotee or not. It's the situation. It's a response to the situation which will determine we are a devotee or a non-devotee. So you cannot, again, label a same solution for everyone. Now, there will be some standards, obviously. You cannot say, okay, this person is chanting, 16 rounds. Can I chant 8 rounds? Certain things we cannot change. Like we're discussing about that devotee leaving the temple. One devotee stayed in the temple for a year or so. Then he was leaving. So temple president asked him, so Prabhu, what's the problem? Was Prashadam not good? The first thing he asked, Prashadam was super. I loved the Prashadam. But the devotee is not good. No, devotees were very nice. Were you facing too many services? You were under pressure. No, I got reasonable services. So Prabhu, what's the problem? He said, only one problem. What's the problem? Put Mangala Aarti at 10 o'clock. We can't do that. So obviously you cannot adjust many things, but many things can be adjusted. When a mother has a baby, a little baby, mother has to give more time to the small baby. That's her role change. You cannot expect that same person who was working 12 hours for Krishna to be working the same way. No, mother has to attend to the baby for next 2, 3, 4 years or so. Parents have to give extra time. So is this mean they are not good devotees anymore? They're not coming to temple so much? No, it doesn't. So what is conducive for your devotional life in that circumstances will determine you as a devotee or no. We cannot, again, label everyone with the same response. Oh, because I'm not able to see him in the temple, he's not coming to Mangala Aarti. Prabhuji, how many times you go to Mangala Aarti? You know, that's the first question we should ask. We always question others, but we often not question ourselves. So vairagya. And also, what is the positive here? What's the name? Abhyas. So there's a Sanskrit verse, if I can remember correctly. Karat karat abhyas te jadamat hoy sujan. So even a jad person, jad means very, very dumb person, can also become very, very smart. And we have so many examples. I remember example of Kalidas. Kalidas was not a very great scholarly person. He could not even read and write. But he became such a great scholarly person. By abhyas. Abhyas. So many times I hear, and I am hearing these days a lot. Prabhuji, man nahi lagta hai, I can't read, I can't remember the shlokas. When the exam is coming, I'm hearing all these comments. Answer is only one. There's no shortcut. There is no magic wand here. Abhyasen, abhyasen, abhyasen. You read every day or every week, just 1 hour. And I'm repeating myself again, just 2 hours of class and 1 hour personal study at home. A week I'm talking, not a day. Actually, it suffices for this course. But if we can't even spend 1 hour a week and we struggle with our assignments and shloka, I think we are not giving enough input. Just one example. And again, situations may be different, but as a standard, we should give 1 hour a week to Bhagavad Gita. We should be giving more than that, but minimum 1 hour a week, 30 minutes a day, that's like a minimum for a book. So if you're not able to give, we should question ourselves, not to others. How can we overcome this problem now when only 3 weeks left? No, are we consistently putting 1 hour a week? And how we do that, that may vary, but we just have to do it. No one else can do it for us. Our 16 rounds we have to do. So abhyasin and contest, one positive, one negative. Always go this way. There's a famous verse of Vishnu, Padma Puran. Smritavya satatam Vishnu vismrityo najatuchit. We should always remember Vishnu and never forget Vishnu. So abhyas, what we have to do, vairagya, what we have to quit. And what we have to practice, what we have to quit, go back to Radhanath Maharaj. What is conducive for your devotion service? Simple. There cannot be a blanket answer for everyone. But as I said, some things will be standard that we cannot change. You cannot come to Mangala Aarti, that's fine. We cannot change the time of Mangala Aarti as per your convenience. You cannot change number of rounds. Prabhupada said minimum 16. That means minimum 16. Okay, let's move forward to the next one. It's a very, very nice section here. Okay, 636. I see Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
With this one, I think everything is like obviously connected to controlling the mind. So you mentioned 6.36 with another verse from chapter 6.6 by controlling the mind. So the mind being the best friend if controlled, and if it's not controlled, then it's the worst enemy. So similarly here, basically Krishna is saying to Arjuna in a very humble position by saying, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So he's saying if your mind is not controlled, you're not able to achieve like the perfection of yoga. So with relation to some Sanskrit, I think he's saying like, so in my opinion, he says me mati, and then he says,
maybe we can start from the top, Mataji. It's very easy. So asayam. Asayam means sayam is control. Asayam means not control.
Asayam.
Atmana refers to mind. Yoga is the process which we are talking, the process of connection. Dushprap. So dushprap also, the prap means to attain. Dushprap means difficult to attain. Memati, you already said that, my opinion. Vashyatmana, so vash karna, to be able to control. To yatata, yata means yatan karna, endeavoring, doing some endeavor to do that activity. Shakyo refers to practical. Avaptum is also same word as to achieve. Upayatah means upay. What are different upay? What are different solutions are there? So we can try to read and take help. I also take help. Just read the synonyms. Slowly we'll get into that rhythm of reading the Sanskrit verses and then we go to Prabhupada translation, and then we check it out.
Prabhuji. Like you said before, Krishna is being empathetic. He's trying to he's also understanding Arjuna's situation. But then he's also saying that there is no other way like this. We have to control the mind, so there's no compromise also. So he's understanding, but there's also no other way. So he's like trying
Thank
to.
you. That's
He-
the most important actually takeaway from this verse which Mataji said. So he understands the disciple's mind, but what he's not compromising in the principle. So a spiritual master is called Guru. One of the meaning in Vayu Puran is given of the Guru who does not move. Guru means one who does not move. So Guru is not, my Guru Maharaj is saying, Guru is not someone who presents one theory today and another theory tomorrow. He's Guru. Guru means heavy. He's heavy. Heavy is not like heavy in chastising others. Heavy means heavy in presenting. Yes, this is what it is. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Tomorrow I'll not say, oh, maybe Ganesh ji is, maybe Durga Maya is. No, we understand their position in relation to Krishna, but theory is uncompromised. So whatever devotional principles we are supposed to follow, they are uncompromised. Not our problems may be there, and we are, trying to overcome step by step. So Krishna is again telling you cannot compromise with the target, although I understand the process is difficult. Thank you, Mataji. Now let's start today's discussion. So who are the new devotees? Jamati Mata is raising hand very enthusiastically. See, she's always very enthusiastic. Yes, Mataji.
Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Ayati Shraddhayopeto
Ayati Shraddhayopeto
Yogachala Lita Manasa
Yoga Chalita Manasaha
Prayap Yoga Samsiddhim
Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim
Kam Gatim Krishna Gachati.
Kam Gatim Krishna Gachati.
Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?"
Thank you, Mataji. So now, so far, what we have discussed, just understand the themes here. So Krishna was explaining the process of Ashtanga Yoga based on the equanimity principle, based on controlling the mind. And what Arjun said, hang on a second, Krishna, I cannot control the mind because of X, Y, and Z reasons. So Krishna said, actually, I understand your problem. But please do abhyas and yoga. Abhyas means practice and detachment. He said two things. Now, another question comes to the mind of Arjun, which can be the question of our mind as well. Okay, you're saying do abhyas and vairagya, do detachment and practice. Okay, but what if while I was doing that, I fail, isn't it? How long I have to do abhyas? How long I have to do practice? So suppose someone tells you, you can become the world leader in running, 2-kilometer race or something like that, and you say, where I have to start? Okay, you start walking first. You walk a kilometer and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and then you start running, and then you have to, set up, do abhyas. But you'll say, hang on a second, how long I have to do abhyas? They say, that's only 20 years. And he says, thank you so much. We don't even know how long we'll survive. So Arjun's question is valid. How long I have to do the abhyas? What if I started doing the abhyas, I started going to school, but I dropped out? For example, another example, if you are doing an engineering degree or any other medical degree, you have to pass all the exams. You have a degree of 4 years. Anyone children going to uni, for example? I don't see anyone here. Okay, we have Rasanand Prabhu already passed uni, pass out. I think Mahasu Prabhu's son, your son is going to uni, Prabhu? Not yet?
Yes, Prabhu is in uni.
He's in uni. Okay, here is
He's in
right
year
example.
2.
He's in second year.
Year,
Okay.
yeah.
So suppose he's doing a 4-year university degree. Suppose he has to attend 40 exams, for example, altogether. But he only passes 38 exams. Will he get the degree? Only 2 exams left. We'll
No,
not
Prabhu.
get degree, right?
He has to finish all.
He has to finish 40 out of 40. You cannot say, okay, Prabhu, only one left. It's okay. some humanity and mercy and this and that. You know, still say, no, forget it. So there's always a fear where you will be able to finish the degree. I was speaking to some devotee saying, Prabhu, we don't know what will happen next 2 years. I said, Mataji, I also don't know what will happen next 3 years. Huh? But what I know, what I can do today, I should do today. Huh? So Arjun's doubt is valid or invalid? So the doubt which people are presenting, we can connect to Shastra. People have same mind. Arjun also has the same doubt. So it's not disconnected, it's same. So Arjun, that's why I say Arjun is representing the mind of the Jiva, which we are. Arjun is not in that situation. So we should understand, we cannot guarantee about future. And this doubt which comes to our mind is completely valid doubt. So what Krishna is telling, do abhyas and do practice for long time and you'll get there. Arjun is saying, what if I don't get there? So that's sort of a situation. So he's saying, ayati. Yati means sannyasi. You know, probably sannyasi. Sannyasi is also called yati. Ayati means unsuccessful yati, unsuccessful transcendentalist. Shraddhayo peto. So upeta means engaged. You can see as Prabhupada writing here. Oh, okay, I just pressed it. So upeta is engaged. So a person, a yogi, started engaging in the process of yoga with Shraddha. So he had Shraddha. He had Shraddha that, yes, Krishna is telling, my spiritual master is telling, I start the process. But ayatihi, but he is unsuccessful. It's like a person who started the uni but could not finish the uni. That's a simple example. So ayati Shraddha yopeto. So a person who started the process of yoga with Shraddha, he had faith. He was not following it blindly, but ayati, he became unsuccessful. Why he became unsuccessful? Chalita Manasaha, because his mind got distracted. This happens. Anyone remember the example from Shastra whose mind got distracted while doing tapasya? I'm sure everyone knows that.
Saubhari Muni.
Saubhari Muni, thank you.
Who's under the water?
Under the
Bharat
water.
Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra. Who said Vishwamitra? Prasanna, thank you. Yes, I'll think Vishwamitra. Thank you. And
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj. So we get so many examples in Bhagavatam. Why are they there? Because they represent our mind. So our fear can go away. So yoga, from the path of yoga, Chalit Manasa, his man got man chalaya man ho gaya. So man got distracted, mind got distracted because of whatever reasons. So Bhari Muni, Vishwamitra Muni, similar sort of scenarios. They got distracted, they started the process. Aprapya yoga sansiddhi. Aprapya refers to achieve, to attain. Aprapya, not attain. What he will not attain? Yoga sansiddhim. So he will not attain the siddhi. Siddhi means perfection. Like you will not attain the degree, for example. Just a simple example. Kam gatim Krishna gachati. What does gati mean? Everyone knows this one. Gati has two meanings. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastev, Nastev, Nastev. Gatir Anyatha. Here Gati does not mean the speed, 40 kilometer or whatever. Gati refers to destination. So Kam Gatim, what will be the destination? Krishna. Hey Krishna, what destination he will achieve if he started the process with Shraddha, with faith, but because due to the flickering mind, he got distracted on the way. What destination he will achieve? So you understand the question of Arjun is valid. So we all are following at least up to an extent the process of bhakti, but we all get curious sometimes, will I ever achieve Krishna? We all get this doubt. Be honest. Not because we doubt Krishna or the process, but we doubt ourselves. We doubt ourselves. We are very, very low. We are very neophyte. We do so many mistakes. We do aparad. Will I ever get Krishna? It's a valid question of Arjun. Now, Arjun also gives an example. See the etiquette portion of this flow of Bhagavad Gita. That's also very nice. How he's presenting his reservations to his spiritual master. Priya Mataji had a question or comment?
Yes, Prabhu, I was just thinking of that Neha Vikram Nastusti.
Yes, we'll get there. Yes. We'll connect that to 640. That's exactly. You are reading it nicely, Mataji. So 239, 240 is the answer which Krishna will give. So Krishna had given a hint in 240, which Mataji is referring, Neha Vikram Nastusti, and the expansion of 240 is given from 640 onwards. You can make a note for yourself. It's a connection. Now, we're continuing the question of Arjun. So Arjun has raised a valid doubt as a principle. Now Arjun gives an example. So I was giving example of, say, a boy going to uni. So let's see what example Arjun is giving to prove his question. Who will read next one? Sorry, I have lost my series because the things have changed. Divya Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll try.
Mataji, Hare
Kachin,
Krishna. Mohit
Hare
Prabhu
Krishna.
raised a hand. Mohit Prabhu, is a question or?
Not I can read, probably.
Okay, okay.
That's fine.
Maybe-
Mataji can read.
Mataji, you can read the next one, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Kachinobhya vibrastas.
Kachinno ubhaya vibhrashtas.
Chinnabhram eva nashyati.
Chinnabhram eva nashyati.
Apratishto mahabhaho.
Apratishto mahabaho.
Vimuddho brahmanapati.
Vimuddho brahmanapati.
Translation: O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere?
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So, Kachin na ubhay. So, in Sanskrit, ubhay means two parties. Huh? Prasannatma Prabhu, you have a question?
Sorry, Prabhu. No, by mistake.
No problem, Prabhuji. All good. So, Kachin na ubhay vibhrashta. So, vibhrashta, we all know, going out of the way. You're driving a car and you get distracted and your car goes in a different direction. Chinna Abraham iv nashyati. So nashyati is again to destroy, to get distracted. And we'll start from the fourth line first. Brahmana pati. Pati means the way or the path. And Brahman means Brahman, the path of transcendental, the path of spirituality. So this person was walking the path of spirituality, right? But he got distracted. And the example is given here, Chinna Braham. Chinna Braham refers to a riven cloud. Prabhupada writes as riven cloud, a portion of the cloud who's been got separated from the original cloud. So suppose, two clouds are passing by and a piece of cloud thinks, let me join the other cloud because it's bigger or is more favorable for me. So he leaves the original cloud and he's trying to go to the next cloud, but on the way, the strong wind blows and he goes somewhere else in the sky. Huh? That's the example Arjun is giving. So basically what it means, he is saying, if I was practicing and I tried to join another practice, for example, so I was neither from this house nor from that house. In Hindi, there is a saying. Anyone remember the saying? Na ghar ka na ghat ka. Prabhu ne bahut achhe se bata diya. So how do you translate that in English? I don't know. If anyone knows, please let me know. Rupa Prabhu is smiling as well. So anyway, so basically, if you don't understand Hindi, so basically sometimes we start a project and thinking I will be able to do this. And after a while, you leave this project, you join another project, but you are neither success in the project A nor in B. And you repent sort of, oh, I shouldn't have left A. Similarly, Arjun is saying if a portion of a cloud was attached to a piece of the cloud and he leaves that portion, tries to go to another portion, but on the way he gets distracted. So this yogi started with Shraddha, with faith, the process of yoga, Brahmanapati, but Vimudha means he got distracted. He got distracted on the way by the mind, as we already explained. What will happen to this position, this person? So with no position in any sphere. So this is again a very, very valid question. Now 639. Now Arjun is saying 3 verses in a question. This is the biggest section in Bhagavad Gita, or the only section in the Bhagavad Gita where Arjun is asking so many questions in one go. 637, 638, 639. Let's see his last point. Arjun's last point. Mohit Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhupada. Etan me samsayam Krishna.
Etan me samsayam Krishna.
Chetu amarasi asesata.
Chetum arhasi asheshataha.
Tvat anya samsyasasya.
Tvat anya sanchayasya.
Cheta nahi upapadate.
Cheta nahi upapadyate.
This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt.
Okay, so Tanme Sanshayam Krishna. Sanshaya refers to doubt. We all know this word, Hindi word. So Tanme, so this is my doubt. Oh Krishna, my dear Krishna, this is my doubt. Chetum, please destroy it. Arhasi Prabhupada Rai said, you are requested. So I request you, Krishna, please destroy my doubt. And how much you should destroy? Asheshataha. So don't just destroy, 1 or 2 points. Asheshataha, destroy it completely. Destroy it completely. So Krishna may ask, Arjun, you can go to Vyasadev, you can go to Dhari Muni, you can go to so many sages and get help from there. Just if a question is asked, Tvad anyaha, so tumhare alawa, other than you, shanshayasya, for this doubt removal, cheta and chetu. See, similar words are cheta means chedana, destroy. Nahi upapadyate. I do not see anyone besides you who can destroy this doubt completely. Completely. So we many times have questions. We go to our friend asking questions. He may clarify 1 or 2 doubts, but he may not be able to clarify everything. But if we go to our spiritual master, then he has a vast knowledge. He has so much experience. He has so many realization. When we ask a question and he responds, I'm remembering Bhakti Rasamant Maharaj. You go and ask him. Just by looking at Maharaj, half your doubts are gone. Then when you sit with him and he will say, so how are you? How's things going? 25% is gone again. Then you will even forget your question. I tell you by practical experience, I went to Maharaj and so what should we start? And literally I forgot everything what I was going to ask Maharaj. Because just in being presence of Maharaj, your doubts, your anxieties, it just goes away. Then you may remember half of it. And then when you come back home, oh, I forgot this one. So it happens with all of us, because when we sit with these personalities, and same with Prabhupada, or same with coming in association of Prabhupada books as well, Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, when we come in association of Prabhupada, literally, and if we approach humbly these books, these messages, half of the things are already gone out of your mind. And here Arjuna is saying, besides you, I see no one else who can completely dispel my doubt. I'll just open 2.7 or 8. I'll just see. Arjun has said the same thing before starting, the main section of Bhagavad Gita. I can find no means drive this way, which I will not be. It's 2.9. So similar thing he has said in second chapter as well. Yes, I've taken your shelter, and besides you, I see no other shelter who can dispel my doubts. So Krishna is the Jagat Guru. He's the Guru. He's the spiritual master of everyone, and he can dispel the doubts in a way which no one else can. Now, when I say Krishna here, Krishna or his true representatives included. So when we approach these bona fide spiritual masters or Krishna, the way they can dispel our doubts, no one else can. One example comes to my mind, Prabhupada, when he went to New York. How many people knew about Krishna, or how many people knew about the science of Krishna consciousness? They didn't even know the name, the word Krishna. Then Krishna is Bhagwan and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing they knew. So imagine how many questions they would have for Prabhupada. Just imagine. We are doing this Bhakti Shastri course, and you are expected, you already have read Bhagavad Gita, you have done your Bhakti Prakshad, blah, blah, blah. You all have that background. Many of you are initiated or going to be initiated, you already have that background. Then we are able to discuss the Bhagavad Gita as per Bhakti Shastri. But imagine when Prabhupada was dealing with all those people, they didn't even know anything. They didn't know what is dhoti and how to wear dhoti. Prabhupada had to teach everything to them. But Prabhupada could do it because he was the true representative of Krishna. So when we go to these sort of authorities, then our doubts will be dispelled. That's why you see in India or many other parts of the world as well, people have so many doubts and their doubts cannot be removed, and then they take any other path. And many times they become atheists as well, because the guru himself is not very eligible, not very knowledgeable. He cannot explain the concept properly. In many parts of the world, this happens because the guru is not bona fide. That's why he's not able to dispel the doubts of the disciples. And disciples have this no faith in the guru. And even when they say a real guru, they don't even have faith in them as well. One example comes to mind again of Prabhupada. When Prabhupada was very young, his friend was asking Prabhupada to go to Bhakti Saraswati Thakur to see him. Prabhupada said, no, I have seen many sadhus like that. I don't want to see them. Prabhupada initially actually rejected the proposal of his friend, but later he said, no, this sadhu is very special. He is not like other sadhus. So we see many times because of so many non-sadhus have become sadhus, people are losing faith in sadhus. So that's why Arjuna is approaching the right authority and is saying only you can dispel the doubt. Asheshata word is very important. Sometimes we see, I don't know to name other organizations or other gurus outside ISKCON, I mean, they may have some theories, they can present the theory in a very flowery way, but they cannot dispel the doubts. Asheshataha. We only find that in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, where we see so many nice devotees can dispel your doubts. Asheshataha. Every single thing you can ask, and there is an answer for that. The only criteria is we should be humbly accepting those. Okay, 640. Now Krishna's response we'll see. Who has not read as yet? Shraddha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Parthaneveha namutra.
Parthaneveha namutra.
Vinashastasya vidyate.
Vinashastasya vidyate.
Nahi kalyana krit kaschit.
Nahi kalyana krit kaschit.
Durgatim tata gacchati.
Durgatim tata gacchati.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Partha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is a beautiful response of Krishna on the doubts of Arjuna. Now, can someone tell what was the first doubt of Arjuna in 634? 633, sorry. What was the first doubt of Arjuna? So Krishna practically spoke till 632, then Arjuna had a doubt, 633. You can refer to the verse. Okay, I'll open the verse on the screen. Anyone? Because we have to understand the flow, very important.
Not able to see it equally.
I cannot see people equally because the principle which you have told is based on equanimity. And what was the reason behind it? What he said?
That his mind was restless and unsettled.
Chanchal thought is my mind is very restless. And then he explains 634, Chanchalam Vimana Krishna. And then Krishna responded with what? Just the theme. I'm not expecting the verse.
So Krishna then said, like Abhyasetu Konte.
Abhyasetu Konte Vairagyancha Grahyate. So Krishna responded that doubt. What was the second doubt of Arjuna? Okay, I accept your proposal. I accept your subscription that Abhyasetu Konte. You should do Abhyas. Fine. What was the second doubt of Arjuna? Someone else can say?
For how long should he do
For
this?
how long? Isn't it? That's what we say. We say, Prabhuji, can you come for kitchen seva? What is our first question? Prabhuji, how long? How long is always with us? Someone calls you for seva, how long? Someone calls you for program, how long? How long? How long? We are advertising a program for tomorrow. We say, Prabhuji's and Mataji's come early. Maharaj will be here early. Like that. So how long is very, very important. Arjuna is also very curious. So if you think about how long, it's all right. It's all right. 16 mala karne mein kitna time lagega? The first question we have, Prabhuji, 1.5 to 2 hours. 2 hours of chanting. How can you do that? Sit at one place and you know, utter a same word, same mantra for 2 hours. How can you do that? Too much. Okay. Prabhuji, start from one round. One round, too much. So how long is very important. So Krishna is responding to that. How long? Okay, so let's go to 640. So Krishna is giving an assurance here. So it's a very, very assurance. And now Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's a friend to Arjuna, and he's giving assurance to Arjuna. And the first word he says, Partha. Partha means my dear friend. And how does he address this Partha? Tat. So Tat is a very nice word. You would have heard this word spoken by say Bhishma Pitama in B.R. Chopra Mahabharat. Tat means my very dear friend, or my very closed one. And very elderly person can refer to a disciple or to a son or to a grandson as Tat. When you say na mera bacha, you say in a very genuine emotion. So Krishna is presenting a very, very genuine, very close emotion towards Krishna. Tat, Partha, your son of Pratha. So first Krishna is coming very close, because unless you come close, you cannot assure the person's anything. If person is in a lot of trouble, he comes to you for help. First you say, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Stay strong. I remember Asipro, you always say, stay strong, stay strong. So first you give assurance. So first Krishna is giving this assurance to Arjuna. Tat, Partha, my dear one, he's not addressing you nonsense, you rascal. Again, not discouraging, encouraging the person. So Partha, na iha. So iha refers to this material world. In this situation, yaha par, iha, na amutra. So amutra, Prabhupada writes in next word. Amutra in the next slide. Prabhupada writes here. So na iha, neither here nor in the next slide. What will not happen? Vinashas tasya vidyate. Vinash nahi hoga. The destruction does not exist. For whom destruction does not exist? Nahi. He refers to certainly it does not exist. Kalyan krat kashit. So kashit, anyone is engaged in which? Krat means karma, karya. Engaged in the activity of what? Kalyan activity, because you are engaged in an activity which is Kalyan, means auspicious, Mangal. You are engaged in an activity which is very, very auspicious. Vinashastasya na vidyate. Vinash is not existing. And as Priya Mataji said earlier, this is the expansion of 240. Neha Vikramaswasti Pratyavayo na vidyate solpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. So there the principle was given. Now Krishna is expanding how that principle is true. So you can say 240 and 640, so the similar words. And now Krishna will start expanding on it from 41 to 45. So we'll read again. So Parth na iha, in this material world where you're living right now, na amutra in the next slide. Vinash sastasya vidyate. So vinash does not exist, destruction does not exist. Nahi kalyan krit kashit, because you are engaged in the activity which is very, very auspicious. And durgatim. So durgatim, gatim refers to destination. Durgatim means refers to wrong destination, inauspicious destination. So na has to be attached here. Tat gachati, you will never go to a wrong destination. So this verse is a verse of assurance to Arjuna, coming very, very close, is saying, my dear friend, please be assured, if you are engaged in the auspicious activity such as yoga, which we have just spoken about, your gati, your destination can never be inauspicious, can never be inauspicious. So Arjuna says, oh, that's very nice. How's that possible? I was reading Prabhupada purport. I'll not read the Sanskrit, but I'll just write 1517. Narad Muni instructs Vyasdev. I'll just read the translation. It's very nice, actually. If someone gives up all material prospects and takes up complete shelter to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's no loss or degradation in any way. So even if you do a small portion of devotion, it never gets deleted or depleted. Deleted means, delete from your account. So many times you make a deposit and it doesn't show up in your transactional activity. What you will see, it got deleted. There are many IT experts here. That's why we don't delete anything. We put a delete flag. Delete flag equals to Y. We do that. So, but many times because things get deleted, we cannot trace them. So it says no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully be engaged in his occupational duties and yet not gain anything. So any activity done in devotional perspective for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of the devotees, will never get deleted or depleted. Depletable means slowly get depleting, slowly finishing. No, it can never deplete. It can never be deleted from your account. So anytime you chanted word Krishna or Ram, you help the devotee, it will be stored in your account permanently. And because of that smallest activity possible, you will achieve an auspicious destination. Let's see what Krishna explains further. So this is just a principle saying, no, you'll never go to a wrong destination. Now, how that will work? Let's read. So 641 is the verse where you have done a small time practice. Suppose you practice devotion for one year, 1 month, whatever, a small practice of devotion. Then your mind got distracted. No, this chanting is not good, and this is not good, that is not good, and you go away. You don't do anything. So what will happen to the yogis, to the practitioners who have practiced for a small period of time and they got distracted? And then we'll see what happens to those yogis who practice for a long time and they got distracted. So let's see short-term practice people. 641. We have Charu Mataji here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतं लोकान्
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान्
उषित्वा शाश्वतः समः
उषित्वा शाश्वतीः समः
शुचिनां श्रीमतां गेहे
शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे
योगभ्रष्टो अभिजायते.
योगभ्रष्टो अभिजायते.
Translation: The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the previous living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So this is again a very popular verse. You will hear every now and then. Many speakers will give the reference of this because this is a very sort of logical and day-to-day using verse. So prapya punya kritam. So we read the word krita. Krita means activity. So punya refers to auspicious activity. Now punya word has many meanings, but we can just take a simple meaning here of being auspicious. Now what is auspicious? I'm remembering Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He was asked this question in Siddhi Temple. He was giving a class many years ago, probably 10-12 years ago. So Maharaj said, what is auspicious? What is inauspicious? I really love the definition of Maharaj. Maharaj said, what takes you towards Krishna is auspicious. What does not take you towards Krishna is inauspicious. Simple. So simple, but so deep definition. So if my chanting, suppose, does not take me towards Krishna, that is inauspicious. Why? Because by chanting, I may get pride, I may get this and that. It will never happen like that, but I'm just saying. So even a devotional activity, which I treat it non-devotionally, may be a distraction for me, may be inauspiciousness for me, because I am getting proud by doing that activity. And Krishna doesn't like pride. And he will make all the nice arrangements to destroy the pride of the devotee. Anyway, the point is, so punya is in material world we call punya is giving some charity to some poor people, giving some food to the poor people, but actually that's not punya. That's nice activity, but people call it punya. But the real definition of punya is what takes you towards Krishna. So devotional acts should be considered as a punya activity, and a pap is whatever non-devotional activity that includes being very charitable, not engaging Krishna in that charitable activity, because that will become a pious activity, and I'll get the result of pious activity. That means I will also become poor one day, and I will be fed by some generous people. So that's not very nice. That's not very nice. Any activity which does not liberate you, this is called inauspicious activity. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a verse which says, "Ei bhalo, ei manda, ei sab brahma." Bhalo means any Bengali devotee. Bhalo means good, what do you call kemno ache, bhalo ache, something
Good,
like that. Something like that. I am not Bengali person, but bhalo ache. Bhalo means very good, at least good. How do you call very bhalo?
Khub bhalo.
Khub
bhalo.
Khub bhalo. Oh, there are two Bengali devotees. Yeah, khub bhalo. Khub is in the word. Okay, so
they all from Sanskrit, Prabhu. So
they all from, yeah.
Find a lot of similarities.
Oh, yeah. So all the Marathi also has so many exact Sanskrit words. In Telugu also, Tamil also, very close to Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is the mother language. Anyway, so it says, "Ei bhalo." So many times, we get some material success, we get a good job, good house, or good health, good family, blah blah blah. We say, "Oh, very nice. My life is going very nice." Ei bhalo. Ei manda. Manda means when we are not getting a proper job, proper health, and all those sort of things. We say, "Acha nahi chal raha hai aajkal." Life is not going so well these days. So, ei bhalo, ei manda, ei sab brahma. Brahma means it's all illusion, because it is based on the bodily platform. So if you are relating your life with a bodily platform and saying you're successful or unsuccessful, actually you're on a wrong platform. You're wrong platform. What's a devotee's definition of success or failure? Anyone? how much Krishna is Smaranam, how much the remembrance of Krishna we are able to do each moment. That is the success or profit of the day. And suppose you remembered Krishna 2 hours a day, 22 hours you did not remember Krishna for whatever reasons. So what's the benefit of the day? It's only 2 hours. Now 22 hours you may have earned $10 trillion. But spiritually speaking, that's a Brahm, that's an illusion. That $10 trillion came out of your destiny. It was supposed to come and you saying, yes, I am the doer. I am the doer. I worked so hard. I'm so intelligent. I got this deal, that deal. It's just nature is responding to your previous pious actions. But from a transcendental perspective, 2 hours of remembrance of Krishna is the only benefit of the day. Everything else actually is a loss. Everything else. You say, oh, I got so much money. I got so much respect in the society. I got this medal, that medal. Transcendentalists will say, Bhai Sahab, this is a loss. Why? Because this makes you forgetful of Krishna for the 22 hours. So our calculation is very, very simple, very, very simple. Many times people have so much confusion. There is actually no confusion. You can work and remember Krishna. That work is also auspicious. But if work distracts you from going to Krishna or to devotees or doing your seva, sometimes we all get into different situations. We want to do many services, but we can't. That's okay. We just have to accept it, but keep our mind focused on the goal at least. That no, I need to serve Krishna. I'm not able to serve Krishna today, tomorrow, 1 week, 2 weeks. But it doesn't mean I can get distracted. A mother may, as I said, have to give more time to the child, but it does not mean whole life mother will be like that. No, child will grow at 2 or 3 year age and mother will start giving more time to Krishna conscious activities appropriately. So if you lose some time, that's not being counted, but the point is your focus should not get loose. Focus should be, yes, I need to serve Krishna. Today, I'm not able to serve Krishna as much as I like to, but I need to serve Krishna. This is the goal of my life. This is the pure happiness of my life. This is the only benefit of my life. So, prapya, punya kritam lokan. So, I was just speaking the word punya. What is auspicious and inauspicious? So, this auspiciousness is not based on how much well materially I am. And that's why many times we make this mistake. Mahatma Prabhu was saying of judging devotees based on material success or material failures. We should never judge. We should never judge anyway, but we should never judge a devotee based on his material successes or failures. Many times immaturely we label someone because he's failed materially, he's failed spiritually as well. Many times actually failures are caused by Krishna. Kunti Maharani, best example. Prabhupada, best example. The failures, so-called failures, materially speaking, were actually brought by Krishna. Sometimes Krishna fails you because he wants to fail your hopes of material successes. So he says, you have in your mind a hope that I will materially successful, I will materially settle. Krishna says, I will break your hope. Prabhupada said, I tried to start my business 3 times. Every time it failed and failed and failed. Prabhupada, family life failed, business life failed, kids got failed. He was absolutely like materially speaking unsuccessful, but spiritually he was always successful, always successful. So we should become a little more mature. We should not never judge a devotee's material successes as well. Sometimes we see big house, big successful, but he must be a good devotee. May not be necessarily. He may be. Wealth is not going to stop a devotee. That's not the point. The point is wealth may be a distraction as well. Success may be a distraction as well. Radhanath Maharaj was telling, I heard in a lecture, he was giving a Bhagavatam class. So he was telling, I met a person yesterday or last week, something like that. So Maharaj said, he is a prisoner of his success. He was a very successful person in India, but Maharaj called him, he's a prisoner of his success. Because he thinks I am a successful person. So Maharaj was literally becoming very compassionate in Bhagavatam class, saying, look at, he is a prisoner of his success. Maharaj was so compassionate. But we will look at person, oh my God, he's such a big industrialist, he's a billionaire. But Maharaj is looking at, he's a prisoner of his success. So we should not become prisoners of our material successes. Rather, we should embrace more failures in that way, which will make us successful in a spiritual life. Those failures are wonderful, which takes you towards Krishna, isn't it? And those successes are actually failures, which takes us away from Krishna, because we got so much successful in our life. Prabhu, I can't come to temple. My business is booming. I have to give time to my business. I have to give time to my this problem, that problem. It's like, Prabhu, I haven't seen you in temple for last 2 months. Prabhu, bahut problem chal raha hai. Life is having so many issues. But it's like saying, Prabhu, why are you not going to doctor? Prabhu, I'm too sick to go to doctor. Arey yaar, when you're too sick, then you have to go and see the doctor more. Now, this is another thing which I heard in lecture, very nice. Sometimes, when you're sick, you go to the doctor, but when you're too sick, what happens? Ambulance comes to your house. So similarly, when you're too sick, ambulance, Prabhupada ambulance, ISKCON ambulance comes to your house. Prabhu, chalo program mein chalenge. Prabhu, prasad leke aayenge. People bring prasad to our home. They knock the door. He said, what can I do? Prabhu, prasadam for you. Arey, really? They deliver at your door. Just imagine, and I can give so many examples. People are smiling, I can see. They come, and I don't expect, they come and deliver not 1, 2, this is like 8 boxes of prasadam, 25 preparations. This is for your deities. Like, what can I say to these people? What can I say to these people? Huh? Genuinely, they're just trying to do something for you. Who does anything for anyone else in this material world? No one does that. Only devotees can do it. Only devotees can do it. Because they're genuinely concerned about you and your development of Krishna consciousness. And we see that. So Prabhupada ambulance comes on our door. We say, Prabhu, we are fine. We are fine. No, you are not fine. Take prasadam. Take the book. It is so nice. Anyway, I got distracted by this word punya. So auspicious activity means Krishna conscious activity. There's nothing else which is auspicious. Samit Prabhu, I'll just get back to you. Let me finish this thought flow. So prapya means by achieving punya kartam lokan. So lokan, the planets which are achieved only by punya activity. Now here the punya word is referring here to some auspicious, materialistic auspicious activities as well. For example, going to Swargloka. How do you get to Swargloka? Unless you have a plenty of good credits in your account, like very material example, you have to go to America or somewhere for holidays. You have to have some money, isn't it? Without money, you can't buy air ticket, you can't buy a hotel accommodation and car and blah, blah, blah. You have to have some credit in your account. Nowadays, people work on credit card, but you have to pay for it. Huh? So if you achieve these lokas, where you only achieve by punyas, Ushita means living there. Huh? Living there. How long you live there? Shashwati Samaha. Samaha refers to like Shashwat. He's not saying Shashwat, like Shashwat. Very important. Shashwat and Shashwati Sama is quite important. Sama means like Shashwat. They live there. They live there for a long time. So here referring to Swargloka, for example, or heavenly planets. Swarga is one heavenly planet. There are many heavenly planets. So they achieve the punya, they go to the heavenly planets, they live there for a long time. Then what happens? Suchi Nam Shrimatam Gehe. Gehe refers to ghar, house. They take birth, so they go up and they come down. So they go up. Why do they go up? Because they have punya. They have some auspicious credits in their account. Why they go up? Why they don't go to Krishna Loka? Because they don't have purity in their mind as yet. They still have some material desires. So if you have material desires, you have done some devotion, you have done some material desires, you will go to Swargloka. Prabhupada once was asked this question, will all your disciples go back to Godhead? What was the response of Prabhupada? Many of them, Prabhupada said that, not me, many of them will go to Swargloka. Hare, Prabhupada disciple, Swargloka? Prabhupada said that because they still have desire to enjoy. Huh? But why are you detouring? Huh? If you have to go to 180 Falcon Street, North Sydney, you go straight. You go straight, unless you're living in front of temple like Mohit Prabhu Priya Mataji or Madhuri Mataji. You just jump across the road. You're in the temple. So they practically live in the temple. You can't call them living away from the temple. But people like us in Chatswood, or some live in Glenfield, Edmondson Park, we have to drive. Kellyville Ridge, they're also here. I don't know Charu Mataji's exact suburb, but somewhere Kellyville. For me, everything is Kellyville there. Anyway, so they have to drive a little bit. So why we are detouring? You go straight, toll road, non-toll road, go straight to temple. Why you have to go via, Melbourne and Canberra? Go straight to temple. So, but we don't. Why? We have mixed desire. We have some faith in Krishna, some desire for Krishna, and some desire for sense enjoyment. So Krishna is saying, Krishna will fulfill your that desire as well. So you will go up, live there for a long time. Okay, I'll just expand the word Shashwati. What does Shashwat mean? So Shashwat means eternal. It's saying Shashwati Sama. So there are 4 types of jivas, our acharyas has explained. One is called Martya. Martya means all of us. We will die. Materially speaking. Spiritually, we never die. Materially, we'll die. So Martya is like us, living on the Mrityu-loka, Prithvi-loka, Martya. Second is like Amaraha. Amaraha means one who live in heavenly planets. So they are not Amar, they are not like, they will not die. They are Amar from the perspective of earthly planets. So 10,000 years of demigods. Now their one day is equivalent to our 1 year. Their one day. So imagine their 1 year, their 10,000 years. So you'll feel like, oh, he's never going to die. But it's not like that. Amar means living for a long time in the heavenly planets. And then we have Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevis are the person who live like Brahma's life. Now, in Brahma, one day, as we know, 14 Manus are there. Each Manu will have 71.35 Chaturyugas and all that. Many Indras change in one day of Brahma. So the point here is living like Brahma is called Chiranjeevi, like Markandeya Rishi, Lomash Rishi. They're all Chiranjeevis. They outlive even Brahma. And then we have Nityas. Nityas is living the spiritual world. So he's talking Amra here, which is the second category. Relative to Prithvi Loka, they live for very, very long time, but not forever. There is nothing forever in the material world. Okay, Shasti Sama, so they live there for very, very long time. Suchi Nam Shrim Tam, and they take birth in Suchi family. Suchi means very clean. We have Suchi and Muchi, and Shri. Shri refers to wealth. So a very wealthy family or a very clean family. Yoga Bhrashta Vijayate. So one who is Bhrashta, who is deviated from the path of yoga, who has practiced yoga for a short amount of time, what he will do, he will get some punya, he will go to the Swargloka or one of the heavenly planets, depending on the credits. Like you live in Meriton, or you live in a 7-star hotel or a 5-star hotel, 3-star hotel, depending on your budget. Huh? If you have only $50 a day, you'll probably look for some lodge or something. You have $100 a day, you will go somewhere else. You have $200 a day, you will go to some Meriton or something. So yoga bhrashta jate. If you're yoga bhrashta, you have practiced and got deviated. What you will do, you will go up, live there for a long time, and then you will take birth here. Now, who will take birth in Suchinam family and who will take birth in Srimatam family depends on your desire. So Suchi refers to the Brahmanas family and Shri refers to the wealthy family. So many times we know many people who take birth in a very aristocratic, rich family. And from there, they pick up the devotion path. And sometimes you see many Brahmins, they get very, very good culture in their family from the very beginning of their life, and they take up the path. Okay, Sumit Prabhu or Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have that question. See, when we say that based on our pious activities, we get the result, and we go, and Krishna gives us born into a family of rich people, or righteous people. So, what I was having a doubt, Prabhuji, if we are put into a rich family or with a lot of material benefits, then the soul who is trying to get Krishna, won't his mind be deviated again, going into Swargaloka, or again going into the getting so much material benefits? So how do we understand this, Prabhu?
Very, very nice question. So Mataji is explaining, if you get too rich, for example, you get too much facilities, too much power, usually you get distracted. Yes, you're right, Mataji, but not always. Not always. For example, you take the example of Prahlad Maharaj or Yudhishthir Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. They were the king of the world, but they were not distracted. So yes, you are taking a principle which is correct. And Kunti Maharani also says 1826 Jan Aishwarya Shuta Shri Bhir. Shri is there as well. So Kunti says Shri can be our distraction. Wealth can be our distraction. But at the same time, if you're too poor, that can also be a distraction, isn't it? If you're too poor, you'll say, Bhai, khana bana le ki hum mala kar le. I have to go and earn money just for, I can take a meal probably. I can earn some money for my kids, just for my basic necessities. So yes, you're right as a general principle, but it's not always true. Many Prabhupada disciples were extremely rich. I remember one example of Ambarish Prabhu, Alfred Ford. He was one of the billionaires in the world. He's still extremely rich person in the world. He became Prabhupada disciple. So not always, but in general, yes, you're right.
But Krishna would always give us that intelligence to...
Yeah, so if you only had Mataji Punya, material Punya, yes, you will become like Amitabh Bachchan or something like that. And then you'll get distracted. Not saying Amitabh Bachchan distracted, sorry. Means some rich person, very famous person, right? And then he may get distracted. But if you have done devotion plus other things. Right? So you will be born in a rich family and then start your devotional life from there. Yeah. So not every single rich person will be a Bhrash person. Huh? Many people you'll find very nice.
So Prabhuji, in Swargaloka also, like demigods, they always have to come back to earth, or can they go and deliver from there itself if they know that the importance of Harinam? Can they do Harinam in the Swargaloka and then get delivered from there?
Yes. So you are saying a principle that from there they can go. Technically, yes. Technically, you can go back to Godhead. Any jiva can go back to Godhead. Whether you are an animal itself, you may be in a body of a dog or a monkey, and we have examples throughout. Kagbhushandi in the body of a crow. So demigod. It says Brahma many times he goes back to Godhead directly. He does not come back to Earth planet and take birth as a human. No, Brahma many times, if not all the time, goes back to Godhead directly. It says our Brahma is a devotee. He will definitely go back to Godhead after he finishes his, post of Brahma. So technically, yes. But practically speaking, it says Earth is the only place where you build up your destiny. Everywhere else in the material world, practically speaking, not technically, is a place where you exhaust your karma. Exhaust your karma means you go to Sarg Loka, you exhaust your punyas. You go to Patal Loka, you exhaust your pap. Huh? So that's what is going on. But in Patal, can you chant Hare Krishna? Yes, technically you can. You're a jiva. But what's the probability of you chanting Hare Krishna in the Patal? Just imagine you are being boiled in the hot oil. You're burnt in in fire for long time. You're thrown in a river of pus and stool and urine. What's the probability of you chanting Hare Krishna? Or you'll say, and that's all the crying you hear in the Patala Loka. So probability is very, very low. That's why they say while you're on the earth planet, Prabhupada said, make sure at least you get a human birth next life. Make sure that is in your hand, that you can do. So you can shape your destiny while you are here and at least become a human, continue your devotion. Because if you become a demigod or a dog, both are very dangerous. Even demigod is dangerous. Why? You are distracted for 10,000 years and maybe your desires will increase by going to Sarg Loka or enjoy karna hai. Ye to bahut acha hai. I'll come back here. You go to Wet and Wild and you say, I have to come back here. Okay, you go Wet and Wild, do your activity, come back. Arey bhaiya, never again. I went to Blue Mountains, very honest. No spirituality here. And when I went there, I had a lot of expectation. Blue Mountains will be blue, nice, this, that. When I went there, I said, where is Blue Mountains? And they said, they are the three sisters. I said, is that all? And I literally said, never again. I went for some other trips to take someone, but I was like having a lot of hope. When I went there, there's nothing there. Like, get out, it's a time waste. It's a time waste. Similarly, we can apply that principle for the Swarga or wherever, Switzerland, this and that. Okay, you have to go, you go, come back. There's nothing much there, nothing out there which we will relish like we relish in Katha, Krishna Katha, in Krishna's association or devotee association. There's nothing more than that. You can try it out. Same conclusion will be achieved in this life or in next life. Okay, we have lots of hands today. Thank you. Rupam. So Sonia Mataji, is that okay? Sorry, before I move.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. Rupam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, quick question. The Nitya Jivas that you said, so they are the ones.
World.
Say again.
Spiritual world Jivas. So the Jivas living in a spiritual world. So we are only a small lot.
Yeah.
The good citizens are living there. We think we are great. Actually, we are a small lot. How many prison houses we have in Sydney? I don't know. Not many. Maybe a few. 4, 5, 6. I don't know. But but how many suburbs are there? A lot. How many people in Sydney? I don't know. About 10 million or something. How many prisoners are there? Probably 10,000 or something. So we are that small lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And Prabhu, you mentioned Brahma went a couple of times and back. Prabhu, we always hear that once you go back to Godhead, you don't come back.
Yes, you're right. Technically, yes. Practically, you always have the free will to come back. And Sankalp Maharaj said, once burnt, never shy. So if you are burnt once with Dudh ka jala, probability is you will not do it again. Technically, it says you still have the free will. But because you had a bad experience, you will not try to burn your tongue again. So you had the good experience, so-called good experience of the material world. Krishna will say, wahan nahi jana hai. Thank you. Enough. Never again. Sydney. Harbor Bridge, Statue of Liberty, New York, American green card. Thank you so much. Nahi chahiye. Really? Really, Maya will test you. You're testing every moment. Really? Another property? Nahi chahiye. Don't want it. Don't want it. So once you have this deep realization, then yadgatva na nivartante. Otherwise, nivartante again and again. It's happening. Bhuya. Bhuya means again and again. We are in this material world. Why? Because we don't have the realization as yet. I'm speaking, I don't have any. I'm telling you. I'm just theoretically speaking. I don't have. If I would have realization, it will be very different. It will be. Prabhupada had the realization. Sannyasis, many senior Vaishnavas, they have the realization. So for them, yad gatva na nivardate. But for us, Prabhuji, hum log gatva hi nahi honge. Will not be even gatva, will not be able to reach what we speak of coming back. But it's very clear. Technically, you still have possibility. Krishna will not stop you. He will stop you with love, but he will not. No, Rupam Prabhu, now you are in the spiritual world. Never back again. Unless Rupam Prabhu says that. Krishna, ek bar aur. Krishna saying, really, Rupam Prabhu? No, Krishna, ek bar aur try karna hai. Last time I was in Sydney, now I want to live in Germany, Frankfurt. Krishna says, okay, go for it. You get birth in Germany. Sorry, Prabhu, I'm just kidding, but
Yeah, no, that's fine, Prabhu. I'm wondering, Prabhu, even with Brahma was completely
no,
intelligent
I said
person on his
what
side.
I said most of the Brahmas they will go back, but if a Brahma is not a devotee, he will be actually go down or still on his position or go down. As Jagadanand Pandit said, we were all Brahmas one day.
Yeah.
You were Brahma, I was Brahma. Today we want to be, but we can't. Today we're not even Brahma of our own house. It's mortgaged, isn't it? I'm not sure about your house. Mine is. You must have freed your mortgage, so you are Brahma of your house. I'm not, and I don't want to be. So we are all, at least in our thinking, we think we are little Brahmas, we are little Indras, we are little Brahaspatis. We are the controller. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Prakash Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
On the Chiranjeevi, like the example which you gave, Markandeya Rishi,
Yes.
or even for that matter, Hanuman or Vibhishan, who's also considered
Yes.
Chiranjeevi. So do they exist forever or for one Brahma's lifetime?
Yeah, good question, Prabhuji. So many of them, I would say Hanumanji or Vibhishan, they actually, Chiranjeevi, they live here for very, very long time, for many, many yugas. They can outlive even Brahma, and then they go back to the spiritual world. So when I give this definition, that applies to this current situation of say Vibhishan or Hanuman. Hanumanji will never quit his body. Not after 10 Brahmas, he will quit his body. Never. Never. Example is given for the definition. Sure. But some Chiranjeevis may change the body. Like Markandeya Rishi, for example, and I don't know, I should not say, for example. So he will outlive Brahma, and then after, he will change body, he will go to a spiritual world. They are devotees. They are devotees. Non-devotees cannot live for that long anyway. Okay?
Thank
you. Okay, Prasanna Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It's not a question. I just thought I will just share an analogy which I heard in one of the thing. Like if you take a building which is having a 7th floor and then 6 parking floor in the ground, and if you want to come out to the street, you come out to the ground floor only. So similarly, the earth is like a ground floor, and the planetary system, higher planetary system, lower planetary system.
Yes.
So
nice
maybe as you said, Brahma, because if he's a devotee, he goes directly, or else he has to come through this process.
Yes. Yeah. I remember this example. Charu Mataji is here somewhere. She organized a seminar with Bhakti Charu Maharaj somewhere, and he gave this example of a ground floor and 7 stories up and 6 stories underground floor. So if you want to exit a building, that's the way. Very, very nice example. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. Nidhi Mataji.
Prabhuji, if someone perform devotional service just to attain punya, or in other words, to collect more punyas, so what is the result for that kind of devotional service?
Yes, very nice question. So I think you mean punya means material pious activity, right?
Maybe, yes.
Yes. Yes, Mataji, thank you. So yes, it's also given. If I chant Hare Krishna, for example, for achieving a lot of wealth, just an example, or achieving good health, it will work. Because Nam can give anything. But if you have, Mataji, for example, parasmani. So parasmani, the quality of parasmani is if you touch a iron vessel with the parasmani, it will convert into gold, for example. Now you can get so much from the parasmani, or you're sitting in Swargloka under a wish fulfilling tree, kalpataru. So if you go to a kalpataru, you can ask anything, but what you're asking, 5 paise de do. Can you give me 5 paisa? Just an example. Is it the proper utilization of kalpataru? Not really. You can ask $5 trillion. For example, just we should not compare holy name with anything, but the point here is, with the holy name, I can also achieve material punya. If my mentality is like that, yes, it will result into that. It will result into that. But if my mentality is, I want to achieve Krishna prema by my chanting, if my at least goal is pure, as I said, I think earlier as well, the process which we are following, we are not able to follow perfectly. We are struggling many times, that's fine. But our goal is pure. The goal should be pure. No, my goal is to achieve Krishna prema. There's nothing else. I'm not chanting for anything else. Then actually that goal will inspire us to chant, and Krishna will understand our heart, and then you will actually go in that direction. But if you want to go materially through chanting, for example, or devotional services, it will also happen. Many actually astrologers, I've heard about it, not experienced as yet personally, they say to chant Hare Krishna and you will get rid of your bodily ailments. For example, you have a disease, you start chanting 1 round and then your disease will go. Now, are they wrong? They're not. But is this why we chant Hare Krishna? No, we don't. We don't. Your body is wrong. We are happy with that. No problem. I'm in a hospital. I can read so much. I can hear so much. I can do so much work. We have so much to do all the time. We are never short of. We are in a hospital, no problem. Not that we always wish to go to hospital, but yeah, if Krishna puts us in this situation, no problem. So yes, Mataji, we can go both ways by devotional acts as well. Okay. This was a very famous verse, huh? Everyone had questions. Actually, there's a lot more to cover in this verse, but we will move on to the next verse. I'm looking at the watch. But yeah, good questions. 642. Kanishka Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare
I'll
Krishna.
give it a try.
Yeah.
Atava yoginam eva
Athava yoginam eva
kule bhavati timatam
gule bhavati dhimatam
yatati dulabhataram
etadhi durlabtaram
loke janma yad idrisham.
loke janma yadidrisham.
Or, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So 641 was when the yogis have done short practice and then they got distracted. 642 is for if someone has done long practices for a long time. An example, you all know Bharat Maharaj. He was in the bhava stage just before prema, and then something happened. Now, that was Krishna's arrangement, as Acharya has explained, but the point here is he got distracted and then he took birth as deer, as we all know, and the third birth was taken in a Brahmana family. And from the very beginning, from the very beginning in that, but even the body of the deer, he remembered everything. So as I was explaining earlier, so our material success or material failures, you cannot compare with devotional success and devotional failure. Although materially Bharat Maharaj failed, but devotionally he was completely successful, isn't it? Prabhupada materially failed in the later stages of his life, but devotionally he was going up and up and up all the time. So we should see these examples. So just translate the words. Athva is again Hindi word, or. So or means if not that, case A or case B. Case A short term, case B long term. Athva yoginam, the yogis which are doing kule bhavati dhimatam. Dhiya refers to very buddhiman, very intelligent. Here dhimatam refers to devotee family. Kule means family. So he will take birth in a devotee family. Etad dhi durlabtaram. Durlab means very difficult to obtain. So this sort of birth is very, very difficult to obtain. Loke janma, loka means in this loka, janma is the birth. Yad idrisham. So this type of birth in this loka is very rare. Now, why Krishna is saying it's rare? How many devotees, pure devotees or very advanced devotees are there in the material world in comparison to the total population, I should say, human population of the world. How many pure devotees are around? Not many. You can count probably in your fingers. I was listening lecture of Gauranga Prabhu. He was saying not even 100,000 initiated devotees we have in ISKCON yet. 50 years of preaching, 50 years of preaching, Prabhupada. And he said out of this 100,000, 45,000 is only Jayapataka Maharaj. Radhanath Maharaj is like 30, 35, something like that, big number. And rest of them are like 20,000 or something like that. Very high level figure. What I'm trying to say, what Gauranga Prabhu was saying, after 50 years of preaching, only 100,000 devotees, initiated devotees, committed devotees. And even in 100,000, how many gone out after initiation? We don't know. So the point which he was trying to make, it is very, very, very rare. So if you are committed to your devotional practice, really give a pat to yourself. You are very rare. You are very rare. Still chanting 16 rounds. You're still following principles. You're still offering food. You're going to temple. You're giving donation. You're doing services for Krishna. You are extremely rare because you can compare yourself with the figures. Very, very rare. So Krishna is saying, look, durlabh taram. This sort of janma is very, very durlabh. You will take birth in the devotee family. And one example which I really want to read, Prabhupada writes here in the translation which I was reading in the purport, it is especially the case, okay, I'll read again. Birth in the family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom is praised here because a child born in such a family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. It is especially the case in the Acharya or Goswami family. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. And here Prabhupada gives a very beautiful examples. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord. And both of us were trained in devotional service of Lord from the very beginning of our lives. So this is a very, very great example, Prabhupada. Usually you'll never see Prabhupada giving his own example, but here he is giving. And what he's praising? Krishna's grace. Krishna's grace. Now you cannot say, oh, is Prabhupada the transcendentalist which was lost? No, we can't say that. So Prabhupada was given birth, as we know many times, we have heard in lectures. Krishna personally instructed Prabhupada to go to Earth planet and propagate Krishna conscious movement. And initially Prabhupada said, no, I'm not going to Earth. Very dangerous. And Krishna said, don't worry, I'll arrange everything. You just go there. I'll arrange everything for you. And then Prabhupada said, I came. So, but the example given for this verse is very, very nice. So, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, Prabhupada, they have taken birth in such a rare families where from the very beginning of their lives, they were trained. And that also I was sort of thinking, our children are so fortunate. You imagine, from the very beginning of their life, they're exposed to Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, going down to the Lord, taking only prasadam. They are not exposed to this mundane music and TV and whatnot. They are very, very fortunate. Now, we didn't do it. Obviously, Krishna arranged it. So they are actually very, very fortunate souls. And Prabhupada said they are Vaikuntha kids. Now we have a group of Vaikuntha kids as well, very nice, beautiful kids. But Prabhupada said they are Vaikuntha kids. And we can see from this verse, how many of them get the opportunity. Many of you will go to a program to do, say, Damodar program in a non-devotee house. They are completely distracted, their kids. They're constantly moving. They don't know much about devotion. But you go to a devotee program, all the kids they're raising hand all the time, all the time. They know more answers than the adults. So nice arrangement by the Lord based on this verse. So that's why we should have actually so much respect for our kids, because they are actually special souls. And we should try to help them as much as possible. Okay. I'll stop here. It's 9:17. I was planning to finish this chapter, but we couldn't, but that's okay. We can always do it next time. So we'll do next few verses. Now, the next few verses are not so big, except 6:47. 43, 44, 45 is just same thoughts. Krishna is expanding a little bit more. So we'll read it next time, and then we'll start our revision. And the idea is we do revision. I think Sumit Prabhu has published the roster, but I'll just read it out. So 24 of November, which is Thursday, 1st of December and 8th of December, we'll do revisions, we'll talk about exam, and then we'll have a live exam on 11th. Many devotees have asked when we are reverting to Sunday. The answer is all the Sundays have been taken by other programs in the temple. So like Chaitanya Prabhu is coming, and there's a Gita Jayanti. So we will continue this 3 classes on Thursday nights, 7 to 9, 9:15. And then from January onwards, we'll revert it back to Sunday. And I hope it works for most of you. And I totally understand if it doesn't work because of work reasons or kids, something else. Okay, if there's any quick question or comment, I'll take it. Rupam Prabhu also raised a good point. Maybe you can expand on it, Rupam Prabhuji, for the verses.
Yes, Prabhu. So the latest PDF that you shared, Prabhu, just wanted to let everyone know in their interest that that's for reference only. It's not the syllabus. It has actually way more than what is required. So I thought it's good to give that indication to all of us, because I was confused when I saw the first time, because that one, when you compare with the very first one, or the one that we prepared and shared, are 2 different things. We are looking at around 13 verses in total from first chapter 1 to chapter 6, whereas the one that you shared has got a mammoth number of verses. So
I didn't realize that, but Rupam Prabhu is very pakka. 13 verse याद करें, 13 ही याद करेंगे, 14 नहीं करेंगे. If we can work with 13 verses, why?
And it also says
13 or
module
15?
2, Prabhu.
Huh?
It says module 2, the one which you sent recently.
Yeah, it's just a generic file, as Rupam Prabhu pointed out. So I thought it was important point. So just take my PDF as a generic reference file. It has other things as well. So I just shared the whole PDF. It's not for this course only. So the document which Rupam Prabhu shared, just follow that for the course. And my document you can follow for the generic purposes, just for reference, looking at the themes and the verses and all that. So we're just clarifying that you only have to do 13 verses, not 14. But you can do 14. It's all right. After the course, you can do, that's fine. Okay. And repeating again myself, because somebody was still asking, that the question paper is going to be a short question. So you only have to write maybe a word or 2, a line or 2. It's going to be very straightforward questions and no essays, no long writings. It's going to be 2 hours, and verses you don't have to write. You just have to speak to me. This is what Ghanshyam Prabhu said. So which is very, very easy. Everyone knows most of the verses anyway.
So
in my previous batch, we were writing the verses, which is much more difficult, honestly. Reading the verse is very easy comparatively. So please just read it. Even if you don't know dietary, it's okay. So just repeating the verses in the exam. So you'll write 2 hours exam, and then you will say 13 verses. Just say, no writing. Okay. We'll talk more about the exam closer to the exam, but again, no essays, etc. Just read what you are doing in your assignment. Just read the key verses, even if it's not in assignment. Just read the purports of Prabhupada for the key verses at least. You should know this PDF file. I was speaking to someone today. This PDF file is your main thing. Just read all these themes. You don't have to cram it, but just understand the flow of the chapter. You will be able to respond questions very easily, straightforward questions. Just read again, as I'm saying, key verses, key themes, and the purports of Prabhupada in those. You don't have to cram every single thing, but just have a very good understanding of your assignment. All your assignment should be in your head. 70% of the paper is going to come from the assignment questions. So please prepare the assignment nicely. You're already preparing 70%, and that's 30% will be just generic popular things, which you're expected to know as a part of Bhakti Shastri. But it's going to be very straightforward. Literally, some questions I've sort of prepared the question so far. Again, originally compiled by Ghanshyam Prabhu. And so I'm just was doing some things. Somewhere you only have to write 1 word, you get 1 mark. 1 word, 1 mark. It's so simple. So literally very, very easy question paper. Just expected you should know all the themes and main key verses and the meaning of some Sanskrit words, which you've been doing already. We'll discuss more about the exam closer to the exam. Don't panic. It's a very easy, straightforward exam. Every one of you can do it. I'm very confident on all of you. Don't be scared at all. Literally, it's very, very simple one. Okay, I'll stop here. It's 9:22 because devotees have other services as well. And we'll see you again next Thursday night.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama